Alright, it says we're recording. I got music in my ears. I got a nice sunny day outside, but you're just looking at my guy right there. To the red, white, and blue. Don't tread on me. And a messy pile of tools and welding bench. And hey, old panhead. All this will probably get edited out. But as this might actually be my first real post as a moto vlogger. Thanks to my friend John Thompson, the donation of this camera, the education on how to set everything up, praying that this microphone works. Me and old Black Betty here are going to take a little ride down to work. But first, come on, baby. She's cold. She's been sitting a minute. If I haven't already told you in a different video, or at the beginning of this video, Black Betty is a 1984 Harley Davidson FXRT, a bike my dad bought in 1990 when I was 16. A bike that my wife was willing to ride on my wedding day because it didn't throw oil like my shovel head did. So when the old man 3 years ago let me know he was going to let it go, I said, alright, I'll buy her. So Black Betty now belongs to me. Since I got her, I ain't done nothing but freshen up the pistons and ring. That's it. New clutches. That's about all. Swing arm bushings, isolated bushings. So, what's this channel going to be about? This channel is going to be about praising God, because I am a Christian. I'm even a preacher. If you get the reference in the title of the video or the channel, Night Shift Preacher Motor Vlog. I am one of the preaching and teaching elders at Warsaw Baptist Church in little old Warsaw, Kentucky. Alright, dead squirrel. He's a pretty good sized squirrel. Somebody missed out on some supper. So anyway, I'm going to talk about Jesus. I'm going to talk about motorcycles. I'm going to talk about the life of living on motorcycles. The fact that Thompson could tell you, if you ever go watch, which he'll get tagged in all in this one anyway. The Unrepentant Flinch. It's one of my oldest friends, Mr. Thompson. He, yeah, that's right. I called you that. He's 10 years older than me, and I've known him since I was a kid. Since I was a teenager and he was in his 20s. Anyway, he's the one that taught me into doing this, so here I am. If you're wondering why I keep looking at the mirror if I don't edit that out, this camera was one of his old ones. I'm trying to make sure it's still recording. The red light's still flashing. I guess that means it's recording. We'll find out when I get to work. And that's what I'm doing. John likes to talk about it a lot. Well, the reason I'm called the Night Shift Preacher is because I am a preacher, but I work night shift. That's part of the reason. The other reason is when I was younger, when I first started actually preaching from the pulpit, I preached at Warsaw Baptist, but I preached in the evenings. We had an evening service. Back then, we don't have one currently. Hopefully we'll again, but we had an evening service, and that's where I began actually preaching from the pulpit regularly. And one Sunday, my daughter was talking about me to her friend, and I walked up on her and she introduced me and said, "This is my dad. He's the Night Shift Preacher." And I just about fell out. I was working the same schedule back then that I am now, just at a different company, because I'm that guy. I have bounced around to a million different companies. I haven't bounced around to a million different churches. I've only been involved in 3 as far as ministry is concerned. And maybe someday I'll tell those stories. But Currently, like I said, I'm one of the preaching, teaching elders at Warsaw Baptist. I'll be preaching next Sunday, which is Easter Sunday, if I get this video out before then. Today is Palm Sunday. Not good at dates, but next Sunday is actually Easter Sunday, and I will be the guy in the pulpit talking about the resurrection run, squirrel. But so why am I doing this? As I've really been banging my head against the wall, asking myself, why am I doing a motovlog? Why am I wanting to talk to people while I ride around on my motorcycle instead of just praying? And I do a lot of praying when I'm on the bike, and those are things you won't hear recorded, because that's between me and God. But the reason is I don't see anybody. I see my family, mostly my wife, a few of my very good friends, but not them very often, and the guys I work with. Basically, I see my wife and the guys that I work with 90% of my time. So I don't get to talk to people about Jesus or about life or about a lot of different things the way I would like to. And I'm a talker, and this is an excuse for me to jibber jabber. That's one of the reasons. But God gave us this thing called the internet, and the whole wide world can watch this internet, no matter what you think or believe or know or who you know. So how could I possibly not use this medium to spread the gospel? And what better way to do it than on the back of a motorcycle? I love riding motorcycles. If my voice yelled is a little bit louder, I'll have to figure that out later. Right now, I've got Caught in the Crossfire blasting into my ears on my headphones. So, turn that down a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, I can hear myself think. Love old Stevie Ray. Anyway, so where am I? I'm out here in Northern Kentucky. On the ragged edge of Northern Kentucky, headed downriver. Say the ragged edge because pretty much you get 10 miles outside of Florence on Highway 42, and that's where the edge of the world seems to be to the rest of the world. Now, I spent a month in Germany once, and they knew where Florence was. Thought that was funny, but only because the town I was in was basically taken up by this company that I was working for in Florence. But anyway, I was there for work. That was 2 days on a motorcycle I wish I had video of. 160, maybe 170 miles an hour on the Autobahn on a Kawasaki Z1000. 6.5 solid hours. I got past twice. Yeah, if I'm a little, I sound like I'm bragging a little bit, that's because I am. So, I'm a daily rider, if I can be. As long as the road's dry and it's not like frigid temperatures. I'm not quite as hardcore as Thompson. Thompson will ride when it's like 25 degrees. Me personally, I like to see it above 35. But if I get cabin fever too bad, I'll get out in freezing weather. I've got some gear. In the morning, I think it's going to be close to freezing. So in the morning, I will have to put on